Hey you, this is Vicky Jo, and I'm here with Walter, and Walter has
INFJ preferences.
Yay! As do I. So you get the opportunity to see a male and a female INFJ together. So Walter, talk to me about INFJ. What comes to your mind right away that you would want to share that's important to you about having INFJ preferences?
I think it's my whole connection to the universe. And I explain it by saying that when I love going deep sea fishing. And when that sinker, when I drop my line over the boat and it hits the bottom, 600 feet below, I feel that I'm connected to everything below me, above me, and around me. And I feel I'm totally one with the universe. So it's that totalness, that feeling of total connection.
Wow.
That really makes me an INFJ.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you mind sharing what your age is?
I'm 67.
67,
Mm-hmm.
Great. And as I recall, you have a background in the religious
Yes,
background?
I'm a Presbyterian pastor.
Great, great. And is there something about INFJ that goes along with that? Because I've met a few of you, so.
Yes, the need for pastoring and the need for being with people.
Mm-hmm.
Where it does not go along is that the Presbyterian Church is really a very rational church. It's an NT church. And the theology is very rational. And so I don't relate to that rationality as much.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is more for the person. And when I'm dealing with parishioners, I'm more concerned about them than I am about me. And I've had parishioners go away from conversations with me thinking that I agree with them when I don't. But I was more interested in hearing what they had to say than what I wanted to say.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, Walter, when would you say that you feel the most INFJ, the most in your preferences, honoring your preferences? Got any ideas?
This may sound strange, but I probably, when I'm doing funerals, I feel the most, because in funerals, people do listen to what you say, and you can connect so easily with them. And I have the ability, I've done funerals for people I did not know, and the family has said to me, it sounded like you've known them all your life. Because I listen to what the families tell me about the deceased, and then I'm able to take that and incorporate it into my remarks. And they don't know how I do that because they haven't given me that much information.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think doing funerals is where I probably will feel the most. And it's a time when I become almost a P in a way, because I won't know what I'm going to say to the funeral until the night before, because I'm collecting all these vibrations and all these information about the person and about the family. I'm listening to all of the family dynamics, and I'm sorting them out in my mind, and then I finally come to the service itself, and it just flows from there.
And that flowing, is that flowing coming from an inner knowing?
Yeah, it just comes from an inner knowing. I don't know. I understand there are a few things that give me clues as to what's going on, but after all of that, it still comes from an inside, and I have no way of knowing where all of it comes from.
It almost sounds like you're channeling, if that word's okay. Yeah. And I'm curious, because I'm really, introverted intuition is such a strange and mysterious process. I'd like you to say more about that, and I'm curious, as I was listening to you, I wanted to know, do you have a sense of God or the beyond?
Oh, yeah.
Say something about that.
I think that we're living in eternal life right now. The Gospel of John is my favorite. And I believe that when we die, is that death is a real death experience, but then we have this eternal life. And I don't see us living on a cloud with having all kinds of luxuries. I see that we still continue our work. And I read a book a number of years ago by Fritjof Capra called The Web of Life. And in that he said, he asked the question, are there different universes? Because a fly sees the universe different than a dog or a cat or a human. He said, no, there's only one universe, and we all have the perception to see that universe in order to survive, for our species to survive. And I thought, what we don't have as human beings in death is seeing what happens, is having the perception to see what happens to the person when they die. All as we see is a sensation of breathing. And we don't see anything else. So I'm a firm believer that God takes us and remolds us and uses us for the betterment of the whole universe. I'm not into angels so much, or other, or other beings helping us, but I think it's a whole cosmic force that is helping us move along.
I notice I'm totally vibrating and resonating with you. It's wonderful. And the word that's coming to my mind, and I've had this sensation before, and I'd like to hear your opinion, is the word existential, and I don't even know if I'm using that word right, but there's that sense of just existence is just continuous.
Existence is a continuum.
It's like a flowing river, and we step into the river, and at some point we step out of the river, but the river doesn't stop.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Great. So talk to me more about, I could talk to you about introverted intuition all day, and if you have more to add to that, feel free, but I'm kind of wanting to go back to the extroverted feeling and talk more, because you said the word connection, and just even the way you said connection, it almost had a sense of holiness about that. Could you speak more about your connections with people?
Yeah, if I don't have a connection with people, I can't do work with them. So I'm the kind of person who, if I'm in a group and I want to know who's in the group, and I had a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, who irritated me. He was an ENFP, because he would come into my office in the morning, wouldn't even say good morning, and start rattling off a whole bunch of ideas, and there was no connection between him and me. If he came in to say, good morning, Walter, how you doing? And I'll say, fine, how are you doing? We established that connection, then we could go on and deal with his ideas.
Right.
But he never did that. When people don't connect with me, I really get upset, and I really get fearful that they don't like me. And I just really don't like not being connected. I want to know something about the person. You don't have to tell me your whole life story,
right.
But I do want to know something about
that little personal information.
That personal information.
The connection. Right. Well, Walter, I feel like we've had a personal connection
yes,
here.
We have.
Yes, thank you. Let me give you a hug. Yeah. I'm so glad you did this with me.
We're glad to do it.
I'm hoping that this will help other people get a sense of what INFJ looks like as a pattern, and will happily perhaps help you figure out whether or not this is your pattern as well. Thanks again, Walter.
You're welcome.
That's great.
That's good. Thank you.